It's time for Shou Shugi Ban. Okay, folks, so I just burned some wood. That's basically more or less the whole technique of Shou Shugi Ban. If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize to my Japanese followers. Shou Shugi Ban. But this is a Japanese technique, I guess maybe about 1,000 years old or so. And what it is you're burning wood to preserve it. So that may not make sense, but what happens if you burn the wood, you're left with that stronger wood that's not going to decompose. For example, if you've ever had a campfire or you've done a controlled burn on your farm or something, I know I have. I still have logs that are burnt that have been sitting there for almost 10 years because they're preserved now because of the chemical reaction. It's a great way to preserve wood. Especially this was before, paint was super common. Stain was probably hard to come by. So it's a natural technique, and I can see very easily how it could be discovered. Maybe there was a forest fire or a house caught on fire, and people noticed that the wood left over from those burns lasted a very, very long time. This also makes it insect resistant. It even makes it a little more fire resistant. It's hard to burn the wood again. More water resistant, but I am gonna add some linseed oil to make it more water resistant. So it's a really simple technique. Lots of things you can do with it. I'm just going for a simple dark black burn. All I have is the propane tank from my barbecue grill, a lighter, and this torch I'm using right here. I forget the name brand of this, but a couple years ago, it was real popular to try to burn your weeds, your garden weeds and things like that. And so unfortunately, I bought one of those, and you know what? It works maybe, but not for what I need to use it for. But I already had that torch. So pretty simple project or process. And we're actually gonna use these way up on the hill on the transforming A-frame. Is going to be siding trim for the front of the transforming A-frame. So a real important step that I do, I don't know if everybody does this, after I burn the wood, and I have it on my gravel driveway here, and I've noticed when I burn one side, it really gets most of the other side as well. So when I flip it, I'm really just doing kind of touch-ups, and then I let it burn a little bit. Sometimes there's still a fire. I don't see one, but the next step I do is I cool it down with the hose here. And you can maybe see some of the smoke and steam here. What the water does, obviously it puts out the fire, because I could imagine if you're not careful, you put these on whatever you're going to use it for. Maybe they're still smoldering somewhere and you catch your whole house on fire. I don't know. Maybe that happens at some point. But what I do it to kind of get some of the excess charcoal off so that the wood can kind of pop a little bit. But mainly I'm doing it to make sure that it's not burning anymore, because that could be a disaster. And then I'm going to put these in the sun, and then we're going to add our next step. Okay, so I have these all in a couple different stages here. These I actually burned a couple days ago. Then I hosed them off to cool them down, put the fire out. The last step before we're going to use these is I'm going to coat these all in linseed oil. It's a great natural oil stain. I've used it on paddles for years when I did a lot of canoeing. It's a great natural finish. But what it really does is it's going to seal in the charred wood. As you can tell or see, I already got some black on my fingers, some charcoal, some ash. But with the linseed oil, that seals that in, and it's not going to rub off on you on railings and things like that. At first, I wasn't going to use anything. I guess you don't have to seal it. You can just use the charred look. This does make it pop a little bit, shine better. But what I like is that it seals in all of the charred section so that I'm not always dealing with this blackness on my fingers here. So let's go ahead and apply the linseed oil. And then we're gonna go up, you may be able to see it in the background, our transforming A-frame cabin, and that's where this is going. This is gonna be siding for the front of the cabin. So as soon as I do this, we'll head up and actually check out how this looks on a building. Okay, I just use an old sock to spread this linseed oil. Everybody has some old socks, some mismatched socks. So that's what I'm using, and then I can throw this away. Some people will sand this after they burn it. I'm not doing that this time, but I could see how it could really make the wood pop. But again, I'm not doing that, but that's something that some people do. I'm just applying the linseed oil, just one coat, and then I'm gonna let it dry. And hopefully we'll be able to apply this today, and then we'll be able to use it on our A-frame cabin today. Let's go ahead and head on up to the transforming A-frame cabin. Got my John Deere AMT here. The AMT 600, people. Whoop, whoop. Okay, folks, we're up at our little cabin here, and I've already put a few of these up a week or two ago just to kind of show you what it's going to look like. And I've already stained these with the linseed oil, and I put one coat front and back of these other 2x3s. Once I get everything on, I'm probably going to do one more coat of linseed oil. I just wanted to make sure I got the front, the back, the sides before I put them up.